Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to set up Action Mailer in Ruby on Rails. This is just going to be a basic overview of what an Action Mailer is and how to set up a basic one. So we're going to use the example of a password reset form. And so a password reset form is where you have a form and you ask the user to enter their email, in which you take that email and then you send a password reset token or a link contained within that email, right? So to do that, to mail the password reset link to the user, we need something called an action mailer. An action mailer is something that helps mail emails in Ruby on Rails, and it makes it really easy to use SMTP. So first of all, let's start with, keep in mind I'm not going to implement the password reset functionality. I'm just going to go over how to implement a basic action mailer. But password reset functionality will be covered in later videos, so stay tuned. So let's go to controllers. So we'll need another controller called article. So I was run bin rails generate controller articles, and that created our articles controller. Now let's see. So in the article controller, we'll have a def new action, and since we have this here, we'll go to our views, and in articles we'll make a new file called new.html ebr. So this is a new article file, and to generate the action controller, the action mailer, what we have to run is bin rails generate mailer, and let's call it user mailer for now. So as you see, two files were generated, and this is the file that was generated. So let's define a custom method called password reset form. By default, this takes in a default email and your, I'll just put in what you have to put in here, your sender email. So this is where you would put your sender email. Now here we'll go user. Let me see. Okay, so it's gonna take in a user. Yeah. To user dot mail, and with the subject. So the subject has to be defined in the controller. Password reset. So this is our basic method that mails the password reset form. So now let's go to our views, and what we have to do is generate an email template that will be included in the email. To do this, we'll go password reset form dot text.ebr. So the reason it's important that we call it password reset form, otherwise this method won't know that this is the corresponding view. So always remember to match the method, the action name, with the template name and have .text at the end to tell Rails that this is a text file. So this is the content that will be rendered. So we'll say follow this link, follow the link below to reset your password, and then we'll have a link to tag, and say reset password. Now I'm not gonna put an actual link to generate the password for now. For now, let's put a dummy URL, and we'll call it new new article path. So that's why we generated that article controller earlier. So we could reset, give the reset link to this just as a temporary fix. Also at the bottom, let's just say if you didn't want to reset your password, just ignore this email. Okay, so now since we defined a named route over here, we'll have to add this to our config routes file. So let's go over there, config routes. So as you can see here, we don't have any resources defined. So let's define articles to match the articles controller, and pluralizing it makes it so that you can define a get action. Okay, so here, let's just have a temporary form for now. Articles paths to form label. So this is just a custom form just to fill up some text field, password reset. Okay, so upon clicking the link, the user will be rendered to this view, and since we have this, we'll need a def create, and then we'll say redirect to root URL, something like that. Now, what if we want to view this email? What if we want to view this template? This one. All we have to do is go to this URL. So localhost Rails mailers, I think we have to add it in here. Yeah, so let's add this over here. See what happens. And as you see, let's just take this off for now. Just want to get this up and running. Let's call this article. Okay, so the problem is we have to generate a model called article. To do this, we'll say generate model article. So now let's see. I have to run the migrations first. So migration is basically a database change that's recorded. So we'll run this migration. So anytime you add an article, anytime you add a new model into your application, you'll have to run a migration, because Rails by default makes a table linking the model to the linking the table in the database to the model. So let's run db migrate. Already exist. Okay, anyway, so you guys get the idea, right? So it's basically you have this method, and this method is gonna mail the password reset form, and you just have to put your sender email over here. And there's one more change you have to do. So in config environment, go to development, and over here you'll have to add the following code. So just pick a spot anywhere, and basically you have to define the action mailer. The delivery method will be SMTP. The address will be gmail.com, so this will be the provider. So the domain, again, gmail.com. This is going to be your email username, and this is going to be a password. I highly recommend you don't hard code your username and password into this file directly, because if you were to upload this file into GitHub or some other version control system, your credentials will be publicly exposed. So to prevent this, you can create a application. You can get this gem called Figaro, and that lets you define environment variables, and you can store your define your keys and credentials in a file called application.yaml, and that file won't be uploaded to version control, so you will be safe. So that's basically how you set up Action Mailer. I know we didn't get to see this in action, but we'll do that in another video. The purpose of this video is just to give a basic overview of what an action mailer is, and how do you define a method, how do you define an action, sorry. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. See you guys next time.